Dreamscape presents A Victory Garden for Trying Times by Debi Goodwin. Narrated by Nan Mcnamara. Chapter 1. Before winter comes each year, I plant my garlic. In late October, usually. Early enough to give the thread-thin roots time to poke out of each clove and anchor in the soil before the first hard frost stiffens the ground. But late enough so sprouts as delicately green as fresh peas won't prematurely shoot out of the earth on warm days, only to be destroyed when the killing weather descends. That year, though, I waited until November because the fall was warm, unusually warm, and I was worn out with worry. My routine's as off-kilter as climate change weather. Planting any kind of vegetable, a seed, a seedling, a clove, is an act of faith. Faith that there will be enough sun, enough rain, that disease, insects, and blight can be kept at bay long enough for beets to fatten in the soil, tomatoes to turn red and sweet, beans to multiply on poles, that we will be there to harvest them. But planting garlic in the fall, expecting it to survive the winter underground and then to start transmuting one clove into a head of new cloves at the exact right time, takes a special kind of faith. Plucking fat new heads from the ground 8 or 9 months later is a special kind of victory. By the time I planted that fall, I'd had my garlic ready to go for weeks. 5 organic varieties from the local farmer's market, and a few heads left over from my crop of the past summer. I'd pulled the individual cloves from the heads, careful to leave as much of the papery protective cover around each clove as I could, and then I stored them in a basket in the cold cellar until it was time. Plant them during the full moon, a farmer at the market had told me, in a low, gruff voice, as if he were sharing a secret. I missed one full moon but didn't want to wait for another. I assumed freezing weather was on its way, even in the town of Niagara on the lake, in one of the warmest zones in Ontario, where I then lived. And I wanted the garden put to bed for the year, because there were more urgent things to do. By the time I set out to plant my garlic, we'd received a definitive diagnosis from my husband, Peter. 3rd-stage cancer of the esophagus. The diagnosis came after a short holiday to celebrate my 65th birthday that fall. A trip to Colorado.
Sample complete. Ready to continue?